for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for.
A white man broke in today.
A white man? No! Well, what does security do about it?
Nothing.
Typical!
Say it louder, Governor, so the whole world hears what we become as a country under this administration. Say it louder.
Bad stuff happens. And for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here.
Unbelievable. And you know why God didn't answer your prayers? Because he wanted the whole world to see what we have become as a country. He wanted the world to see what we are, what we have become. Él quería que todo mundo viera en lo que nos hemos convertido como país. Por eso Dios no te contestó tus oraciones.
Hi guys, my name is Tina and you're welcome to the channel. You guys, can you imagine a whole governor, instead of praying for justice, Governor Spencer said he prayed it was someone from another state that killed Charlie. Maybe in his mind he was hoping it would be an immigrant or maybe a black. But listen, this man said he prayed for 33 hours long, not for peace, not for healing, not for truth, but to shift blame, to shift the blame. And now the internet is dragging him left, right, and center. He's facing massive backlash online. So let's get into what people are saying, because this one is wide. I'll be right back.
They are finally saying the quiet part out loud. Let me just play you the clip, because you're going to be shocked to hear this.
I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here.
So we have now reached the point with shootings where people are just outright saying, I wish it was someone from out of state or an immigrant, because that would be easier to push my agenda. And not only that, that is a governor saying this. This is a person holding office saying some shit like this out loud. I truly don't know if we're heading for dystopian times or not, but I do know being politically correct is over. Everyone is kind of fed up. They're saying the quiet part out loud. People aren't giving sympathy on either side, and things are clearly about to get worse.
Greetings, upstanders. Dr. O here, and many people have put so much praise on Utah Governor Cox for the handling of the search of the killer of Charlie Kirk. And people have paid so much attention and praised his comments about the need for people to get off of social media, get outside, be in the grass, and so on and so forth. Look, I don't have a problem with that, about the need to get off of social media and the need to engage people more. But people aren't really giving him the full analysis that he deserves. Number one, he said that it appears that Robinson was engaged in extreme leftist ideology. Where's the proof of that? Where's the evidence of that? At best, what the governor should be saying, if he's supposed to be a unified force, is say, we don't really know about his ideology. Having said that, if he was going to paint an honest picture, we can talk about the fact that he appears to be, and he says, we can say appears to be, hasn't fully been confirmed. He can say all of that stuff, engulfed in or embracing Groyper ideology, which is what followers of the racist, extremist, anti-Semite Nick Fuentes is all about. He can talk about it following Laura Loomer, even though anybody can follow Laura Loomer just if they want to get news. He can talk about that. He can talk about his family's love of guns and being part of a strong Republican family and household where they love toting guns. And again, he doesn't have to say that makes him MAGA, but nothing that we've seen so far makes him someone who's involved in extreme leftist ideology, because there are, his bullet casing said, hey, fascists, catch this and all of that. There's a lot of Republicans and a lot of conservatives who don't like fascists as well, which is why they're forming organizations to stop Trump, like I've mentioned in another video, like the Lincoln Project, like the Bulwark. People are people out there who talk about states' rights and don't tread on me and all of that. That's not just a democratic value. So that was very irresponsible, unless Cox has something that we just don't know. But the second part of what he said, which has not received any coverage or a lot of coverage in the places that I've looked at, is when he talks about how he prayed for, you can see in the link below, he said he prayed for 33 hours. He says, for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. Who is us? Who is us? I mean, come on, let's be real. This is like a MAGA talking point. These are trigger words. He wanted to blame it on an immigrant. Or he wanted to blame it on somebody coming from out of state, somebody black maybe, somebody Latino, somebody like that. He wanted, that's out of state, not from here. And if it was from out of state, he would hope it would be, if it was a white person, that it would be some type of lefty, quote unquote, lefty extremist. That's what he wanted. How do you pray for that as a governor for more than a day? Utah's majority white. Charlie Kirk was white. The killer was white. The majority, the university, all white. And rather than give him praise for saying we should go out there and play in the grass, this should be condemned as racist and xenophobic and ignorant and hateful. Because he's sitting there wanting to show, and even in his other comments, he was like, you see, we had this happen here. We had vigils. We didn't riot. Like, he had these little subtle jabs at blue states and whoever else, and non-MAGA people, it seems like. And the media should be honest about this. This is extremely problematic. Because we know, we already saw what happened before it was the killer was to be revealed. We already saw that in the hours that that Charlie Kirk was killed on September 10th to the time that the killer was revealed on September 12th, they already had all of their narratives formed. They already had their left-leaning lunatics, Trump, we got to beat the crap out of them and all of that. And Governor Cox wanted something to help further that narrative. That's not leadership. That's propaganda. And he wanted to have something that he can use to trigger more followers to go get out there and execute more violence and vengeance and retaliation against his killers. And I'll get to Cash Patel and see you in Valhalla another day, because all of this was about MAGA folks from top to bottom trying to figure out a way to either excuse themselves, point blame at somebody else, or make it seem like they were doing their job just top notch and that everything was fine, and it was not. And enough media outlets have not talked about this. And we know, there were white people in California, I believe, out in Huntington Beach talking about, white men are not going anywhere. I don't know what the chant was, but it's like, that was when people didn't know who the killer was. Because it was assumed that it was somebody else, maybe a Muslim, like maybe something like that. There are white Muslims, by the way. But, maybe there are people just looking for that. And Governor Cox was all too willing to egg it on. And I guess our prayers are answered too in the fact that it wasn't, but we shouldn't be praying that this be a particular person. We should be praying that these things don't happen. We should be praying that, there's not all of this gun violence and all of this killing that's going on and all of this political violence. That's what we should be praying for. You shouldn't be praying for, well.
So listen, guys. I know people are still going to come out and defend this man, but let's be honest. What else do you call it? This is daylight racism. Because why on earth would a leader, instead of taking accountability, instead of even praying that justice is served or that the real assassin is caught, choose to pray that the killer doesn't come from his state? Your praying is an immigrant, right? Your praying is a black, maybe. You're shifting the blame. You're protecting your image, not protecting lives. And tell me, if this is not racism, then what is it? Drop your thoughts in the comment because this conversation is too big to ignore. Do you think this is leadership or this is what racism looks like in 2025? Well, if you made it this far, thank you for watching till now. Do well to drop your thoughts in the comments, like and of course, subscribe to support the channel. Till next time, bye.